I don't know what this is. I forgot to tell you another amazing thing that happened to me. Lost my Pleiades now because I got too excited. Let me calm down because I got so excited to tell you. Goodness. Hi everyone, it's me. You've never met me before though. My name's Peony, and I'm gonna keep looking out the window because there's snow outside and I can't. My whole being is drawn to the snow, so I can't help it. But I'm gonna try and remember to look at you. But honestly, I see a camera and there's snow. And anyways, back to this. Hi, my name's Peony. I'm a new I'm a new member of the system, and I like this earring, but it keeps getting stuck to my sweater. We'll see if it lasts. The earring, not my sweater. So hi. I think I was made by the system after we moved, but that's... Sometimes in a system, at least in our system, it's like time is just not linear, you know? So things that happened before I existed, they feel like I existed then too, or like I have lots of information. And I think I'm probably somewhat related to Big Dipper, who you might remember. And they're still around, they just don't come out very often. So it's, yep. So hello, I wanted to, it's been a long time since we've been on here, and it's time to give you an update. It is way past time to give you an update. So I'm going to give you an update. My notebook is down in this direction, so I've got the snow over here, my notebook down here, and you're right in the middle. And that's how it should be, right? You right in the middle of a snow and notebook sandwich. That sounds not very appetizing. The first thing to tell you about is that we moved. You might know about this, you might not. Now you know for sure. We moved. We were living in California. Now we are living in Seattle. Isn't it funny how the city you live in becomes an entire state? Because when we lived in California, we lived in Oakland. But now it's like, oh, when we lived in California. But anyways, we live in Washington State now. And it's been snowing here for like 3 days, which is the best weather that could possibly exist. There's a big bus. It's the best weather that could possibly exist. The unfortunate part of the snow that I have discovered, that my system discovered, however, is that when you need to use a wheelchair to go outside and the snow happens, people are not very mindful of cutting away the curb cuts, shoveling away the curb cuts. So they're hard to locate, and then they're very hard to take a wheelchair through them. So I have not really braved it. It was like half an inch, and I went outside for a little bit a couple days ago. And then it was like 4 inches, and I decided I'm not going to go out on a wheelchair journey by myself in the snow without someone who has a snow shovel to come with me. So that is, but you know how that, but it's the worst feeling in the world, one of the worst feelings in the world, to not be able to go outside and just go for a walk in the snow. It makes me want to go back to California where there is no snow. It doesn't really. I would much prefer to be here looking at the snow out my window at least. So I got a bit sidetracked. We moved to Seattle because we had to move to somewhere else. I can't really go into the details about it because it's just too hard and too complicated. And I think that there are so many personal details that I would have to edit out. So rather than doing that, you just know we moved and we live here now. The earring keeps, still getting caught. So we moved, this was back in the end of October when we moved here. But you might know this too, when you move, it takes a long time to get settled in. So we've been working on getting settled and feeling at home. And honestly, I don't feel at home still. There have been some really hard things that have happened since we got here that I will summarize for you. The first thing that happened is about a week after we got here, one of our snakes died. So I had 3 snakes: Antarctica, Hurricane, and Wilderness. And Hurricane died. He had been sick all summer and fall, so it didn't surprise me that much, but it was still heartrending because Hurricane was our animal. We were responsible for his life and well-being, and then we feel like we failed him. We know that's not very true because we've had a lot of animals in our lifetime, and many of them have died. So it's just what happens, and sometimes they die before you want them to and before you can figure out how to help them. Hurricane got sent into the Puget Sound to his watery grave. I've never let an animal go into the water before after they died, and it was so lovely. I don't think it was legal by any means because I was at a Seattle City Park. But it was so lovely to just let his body go into the water, so kind of like flinging it into the water and sink to the bottom. It was just very satisfyingly poetic. It was a good grief moment of like, I'm letting this animal go. I'm going to try and let go of how bad I feel about it. But I still feel really bad about it. Did I tell you my pronouns yet? Random, sorry. So I use they, them, or she, her. It doesn't really matter to me. I do not like he, him. Those are not my pronouns. But the she, her, or they, them are my pronouns. So the next hard things that have happened have been relational things. And I really can't go into all the details because there's too many other people involved besides our system. But we broke up with our partner, and that was one of the, we needed to do it. It was very hard. I can't really say much about it because of how hard it was and sad and personal. And then the other hard things that have been happening have been family related. And our family is a big mess. There's like 7 children and parents, and it's a mess. It's just a giant mess. So we have tried our best. We keep trying our best to find a way to be connected with everybody. But there was so much mess growing up. And by mess, I do mean the worst kinds of abuse, that some of the worst, I don't know. There's a lot of worse things. Don't start naming them. There was a lot of abuse that we all went through. So now we're grown-ups, and I don't think any of us really know how to be close to each other. I know for me it feels like I want to be so close to them, but it also feels quite dangerous to be so close to them. And it's hard to tell what's real or not. It's been very hard being back here, and our family lives around this area, and so it's just a lot of trying to reconnect and trying to understand trying to understand family dynamics and how we can best work with those. But then also, quite frankly, there's very little we can do when it comes down to it, because it's a big mess, and it's not really our big mess. We're only one part of it. So the most important thing we've been finding is to just let the buses roll by, you know? The more we try to get involved, the more we try to connect, the worse our own emotional health gets, and the more our depression rages on. So it's a very delicate, awful balancing act of like, okay, how do we do the work of trying to be connected relationally, and also do the work of trying to keep ourselves alive and sane and here with everyone. I always feel so dramatic when I say things like that, but it's not really that dramatic. It's just our life. So I think the family bit, I have no idea how that will ever get sorted, if it will ever get sorted, and I don't think it's a mess that I can clean up. Maybe it's not even meant to be cleaned up. Maybe we are meant to be a mess. I keep thinking I'm saying MS, like multiple sclerosis, which my doctor thinks could. No, she doesn't think it's true. It's just I've got some of the symptoms. Anyways, that's opposite of what I'm talking about. So those are a lot of hard things that happened. Hard things that we continue to have to grieve and feel about. However, we know for ourselves that when we are going through really hard things, especially transitions like this, it's important to find a way to love being here anyways. Love being alive, love being in our apartment, love being with our animals. If we're so shut out of our family in a way, the way that we are, we need to build whatever kind of community and family we can. And it's a pandemic, and so building people relationships is hard, though we keep trying. So what we've decided instead is there's two parts to this. There's we need more family members, and then Pike, our dog, is aging. So we need, this is so complicated to explain this to you. I just need a new service dog, okay? So, Snow. My system needs a new service dog because Pike is 8 years old, which is amazing. We love her. We're proud of her. We're proud of us, all of us. But she was never able to do all the tasks of a service dog, and now she really, really can't do most of them. She's a really good ESA still, emotional support animal, and she's the dog of our life. Like, we're never giving her to anyone else. We do know, though, that she's going to get more and more fragile as she ages because she already has some injuries. Or she has hip dysplasia, and then she had something go wrong with a disc in her back, and so she's had she's had pretty bad chronic pain since those things happened to her. It's not going to get easier to introduce a puppy into the household. It's going to just get harder. So we decided, my system, that we have to get a new service dog this year, like as soon as we can, really, in order to give Pike the most chance of working well with this dog, because puppies are puppies, you know. They're like toddlers. They will steal your heart and destroy all your stuff, and you won't even be angry at them about it. So that's why we need to get a new service dog as soon as possible. Then there's also we are here in Seattle and we are living alone, and we need more, we fall over all the time, you know, and we have seizures sometimes. And we can't always get things off the floor. So to have a dog to help us with our mobility as well as our psychiatric health would be amazing, just amazing. And then also sometimes we'll fall down across the hallway, and our cane is like on the other side of the room, and so the only choice we have then is to like crawl. But if we had a big dog, we could use the dog to give us a little bit of balance, and that would be enough to get us to a safer location. So that's a lot of reasons to get a service dog. As you might be aware, service dogs are a lot of money and a lot of time to train. So we found an organization, I can't remember what they're called right now, but we found this organization to help us train a dog and to help us pick out a dog. But how to afford a dog is a little bit of a different question. However, the need is so great that we are in my system like, no, we have to make this our big priority because we have to start the job now, because it's going to take a long time. It can take 2 years to train a service dog. It often takes 2 years. And then once they're trained, you also have to keep training them their whole life. Like, just like a just like yourself, you know? You need new activities, you need to learn new tasks, service dogs. So that's really exciting, though. That's honestly one of the most exciting parts of things, is to be like, we're going to get ourselves the right kind of help. We're going to get ourselves a big dog that can help us with our everything. I'm really excited about it. I don't know how to express my excitement very well, but I'm so excited about it. Another exciting thing is that I got a computer, so I'm able to edit videos. Really cool thing that happened is I have a decent doctor right now and a decent psychiatrist. They do really good at their jobs. And our doctor actually found a stealth infection, which is like a co-infection for Lyme. It can happen. The infection is called mycoplasma, and you can get it without Lyme disease, or they can be co-infections together. It's not really known at this time what's going on in our body with that. But for sure I have mycoplasma. We've been on antibiotics for a couple of months now. I wish we were noticing more difference, but there is more energy ability. So that's pretty great. Like, I will take more energy. I have very little. I don't even have enough energy to walk outside in the snow. Jeez. It's also really exciting to find something that is wrong that our system had supposed could be wrong. Like, it's not Lyme disease. We haven't got a positive for Lyme disease yet. And that's fine if we don't have Lyme disease, it's fine. We don't need it. Goodness knows we do not need it. But we believe we have. For years we've believed we have it. And finding this infection, mycoplasma, it is one step closer to like putting all these links together of like, okay, I've got these stealth infections. They sort of could be coming from a tick or not, but either way, now it's easier to treat them because we know what it is, and so we can more carefully target what we're doing. And also, insurance would cover antibiotics for mycoplasma, no problem. They just wouldn't cover antibiotics for Lyme disease like this. So it even helps me that it isn't Lyme disease. It's actually, it's better. It's always better to not have Lyme. Lessons learned. But it's also helpful in terms of insurance, since insurance has a big stick up their butt about, they have a big stick up their bum about Lyme disease, but they don't have the same stick up their bum about mycoplasma. So, hooray for us, we get to have treatment for a while. And then the next thing that happened with our psychiatrist is that she was able to prescribe us an anti-seizure medication, which our neurologist had insisted. She was insisting that an anti-seizure medicine would not help us because we didn't have epilepsy. So then our psychiatrist is like, well, here's an anti-seizure medicine that's also a mood stabilizer, so just take it and see what happens. Totally helps. I've only had, I think, 2 seizures since starting that medicine 2 or 3 months ago. I was having several seizures a week, and now I'm having next to nothing. And it's the coolest, like, what? That's so cool. Also, fuck that neurologist, and fuck all these we had a lot of doctors tell us that no anti-seizure medicine would help us because our seizures are not the right kind of seizures. And so we didn't even get to try them out. We just used marijuana, which worked. Like, it worked pretty well, but there had to be someone there to administer the medicine during a seizure, or it didn't really help. So now there's a medicine, we just take it once a day, and no worries. We just go throughout our day. And if later in the day we feel a little seizure-y, we can even take a little more, and it makes us feel less like having a seizure. So it's astounding how doctors can stand in your way, and then the moment that they believe you, they are suddenly paving the way for you. It's a really confounding experience. I don't like it, but I really like not having seizures. That's my favorite. I think that's a lot of snow. I thought I saw a friend out there, but it's not. It's just someone who looks like my friend. I'm sure there's more things we can update you about, but this was a lot of things. It's been a lot of months, and so I just wanted to get it out here, get this stuff out here. Now I don't know what to say. Also, I feel real tired. Believe in yourselves. No, how do we do it? Believe yourselves. Believe in yourselves. Keep living. And we're going to see you soon, I hope. Bye. I forgot to tell you. I don't know what this is. I forgot to tell you. Another amazing thing that happened to me. Also, I'm Pleiades now because I got too excited. Is that you might not know this, but when we first let me calm down because I got so excited to tell you. When we first started doing YouTube, I think it was in 2014, and this was one of the first things we self-diagnosed ourselves with was autism or autism spectrum disorder, or just being on the autism spectrum, because you don't have to have it be a disorder to have it be autism. Anyways, so we tried a few different times to get diagnosed with autism throughout the last several years, but we kind of had to leave it for a while at just like, okay, we know we're autistic, we know it, and our friends know it, and our friends agree with us and support us, and so we don't have to have a medical diagnosis to have that happen. But goodness, it can be so helpful to have a medical diagnosis of something. So that cool psychiatrist we see now who got us on anti-seizure medicine, she also diagnosed us with autism. I might be more excited about that than almost anything else that I've told you about in this whole update video. I didn't tell you. Peony told you. I'm Pleiades. Let's keep it relevant. Relevant? Real? It's a fun day today. So anyways, I just needed to tell you that because I wanted to make sure to include it, because it feels like even if you all haven't been with us the whole time, like, this is the place where we got to express that, and we got to feel validated about that and make friends about it, and we even had a partner for a while because of that. And it was just a whole bundle of goodness from this channel about being autistic and about making connections. So now we get to bring it full circle. We get to be right. And that just feels really nice. It's not even this like a smug thing or anything. Maybe it is. I don't know. It could be. It feels more like a validation of, I know what I'm talking about. We know our body, we know our experience, we know how to research, we know how to decide if something makes sense to our experience or not. So of course we can self-diagnose ourselves fairly accurately, and we continue to do so. So it's another good, I want to say rung on our ladder, but I don't even know what that metaphor means right now. It's just another good moment of life of being like, I know what I'm talking about. I know who I am, and I know what kind of help I need, or I know what kind of help I don't need. I guess it gives me, that's what it is. It's this I'm right in a self-confident sort of way, like, I know myself. I'm right about this. And now I have someone to back me up on it. And that is incredible. It's truly incredible. So I will leave you on that note. Also, believe yourselves. Believe in yourselves. Keep living. And we're going to see you soon.